Microphone. Almost forget microphone. So, continuing with Scott Robertson. Cut surfaces. Так. So, here I take this kind of form. So I will show like how you can practice this too. Just purpose of this series about Scott Robertson is to help people kind of progress with this book, because you know sometimes people kind of stuck with it, feel like overwhelmed and stuff. So I want to kind of help you with it. Так. So let's say this one, right? So we drew circle on this surface. And now it's like, so this circle is like, imagine it's like we have this form and we have cylinder, right? So it's like cylinder going through this form, kind of like this. Right, so what kind of cut surface will be here? So how can you build this? How you can calculate this? So like I said before, it's about XYZ, right? So X, Y, Z. This what you should always like remind yourself, this is only point here. So you practice your kind of constructive thinking, constructive approach, like this structure, right? Like where is XYZ in this structure? So this thing, it's our Y. So this like represent a vertical line. Then this one is represent Z. So this is Z. And so this one will be like last one, you know, third, which is like 90 degree to Z, right? So if Z go here, X will go 90 degree. So it's our X. I make here is like Z and X, their little conversion. A kind of conversion like this. So X, 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 okay? Y, 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 Z, Z. So this line and this line is not parallel, not aligned with any axis. Okay, so this line and this line, like also like this and this, we get this from connecting points. And you can, if you want, but it's like it's kind of more advanced, and Scott Robertson even don't mention this here. But I have in tutorials I explain like for any tilted line, you can create perspective grid. Like a very good workshop has like a series of lecture from Marshall Wandroff. You can find, you know, Marshall Wandroff. Like he is like maybe like is they like equal? Like Scott Robertson and Marshall Wandroff. Like everybody must to know them and must to you must watch Marshall Wandroff workshop. and you must buy Scott Robertson book. It's like requirement. And so he's talking about this like vanishing traces. So it's like all tilted surfaces. They also, if you want, you can find their own vanishing point. It will call vanishing trace. So it's like vanishing point for tilted kind of line, right? But I also take it kind of further, and I apply my Gene Bond perspective grid approach. It's like you can build perspective grid for any tilted surface, and you can do it very easy, and this in my tutorials. So you just go watch my tutorials about perspective grids. I explain all this, and I will make book soon also about this stuff. But anyway, so first, number one, XYZ, right? So remember, like, whole point of all this stuff, it's to practice this approach. If you don't have this in mind, then you waste your time. It's not just about like drawing similar picture, drawing good lines and stuff. It's about remembering logic, right? Practicing principles. So first of all, you should have clear idea. So which line is x-axis, which lines is y, and which line is z. And so you know this, and this line not align with any axis. This line happen from connecting points. So this number one. So number two, now understanding this, right, we can find more points. We can transfer, duplicate and stuff, right? So now what we need to understand how this circle will be projected on a tilted surface, we need to transfer this 5 points. To transfer them, we need to use axes. So transfer points, it's always you use x, y, or z. Hello, Virgo. So, and here, because it's kind of like on the way of a z-axis, right? So we have the z-axis here. So to transfer this point to tilted surface, I draw a z-axis through each point. So now I just need to make sure, and this is what is practice about in perspective. It's like you make sure these lines are kind of properly following this perspective, right? So here I just drop some lines so I can see direction more clearly, right? So we have this. So if I have these two lines, then I drop some in between. Okay, so now it will be easier for my eye to find direction, because like I can draw any other parallel line which will be aligned with this direction of z. Okay, so now I need to do this. Okay, so for example, right, draw line going through this point, line going through this point, and a center point. Okay, so we have these lines kind of go there, but how do I know where this line should be stopped, right? Like where is surface? To know this, I need to do this thing, like how to make it more clear. So this 3 points, I draw y axis. So then we see how this making point on the edge, right? Then again I drop z axis through this point on the edge, and I see how it's intersect this edge here. So now we have this point, and I can connect. Okay, so this way I got this kind of cross section. So let's say if I have this one, right? So if I have this line here, so I just kind of extended it. So I find where it intersects this point. Then I draw these lines. I find this point here. Op. Now I have this point, I connect, and I have this kind of slice, right? Then we have this center point, same Z. Okay, it's point here. So here, look, interesting kind of thing, right? So this point, and this point, they're lying on x-axis. Okay, and what I do, if in this point I draw x-axis going through this point, it will intersect with this Z line. Okay, I try and do my best to make it simple, but maybe let's draw it again. Try to make it look more clear. Again, so here, look, we have, I will just like show a point without circle. So what I did, shown again, these are Y, right? So, and I know these 3 points, they're lying on the Y axis. So what I do, I draw extended line. Now I get these lines on the edge, right? Then I know this, it's Z axis. They're parallel. They can be like, they might look parallel on a paper if it's isometry, or they can be convergent if it's like somewhere vanishing point, right? So, and I know this point, right? I can drop Z axis, Z line or parallel to the axis through this point. You can make it like this kind of, right? And then I will see how this line going through this point, it will intersect with this edge. Right? And now what we have this point and we have this point on the edge. And if you connect these 2 points, let's use black, it will give you like enclosure, it will give you this cut here, okay? So then you need to do like similar with these 3 points. So these 3 points, because I understand principle of XYZ, right? I can see these 3 points, they're lying on a line, and this line is a parallel to x-axis. So, and this is our x-axis. These are x-axis, right? So what I need to take, because this center point is already part of this surface, right? So it's like this triangle. And this point is on a triangle. So I can actually, like, I can draw a line which is parallel to this line. Okay, so, and because of this, I will kind of transfer this point to here. This is what I do. So, and this line is parallel to Z, right? So we know, because we know already this edge, it's Z axis. So I draw again, I have Z axis here, I have the axis here, I have the axis here. So I just make line, like a line with this, the axis, and I get this point here. So, and now on this z-axis, because I want to have this 2 point, how this 2 point related with this point? They related, they align on the same x axis, right? So it should be parallel. So x-axis go here, go here, go here. So if I draw x-axis goes like this, okay, so I will have this line on which these 2 more points lies. But here I don't know exactly where they should be, like how far from this center point. To know how far they from this center point, I need to project each point by dropping z-axis. So I drop z-axis here, okay, and I have transfer of this point, right? I drop z-axis here, and now I have second point. So we have now this 1, 2, 3 here, and also, yeah, almost forget, so same we do with this 2 points vertically, right? Same, I drop z, and I have this point here, I drop z, and I have this point here. So we have center point, we have this 2 point, we have this 2 point. So, and only with extra complexity is that there also curvature, right? This kind of roundness of ellipse. So let me show. So if we have this curve, so we have curve lines. So I can try to kind of like eyeball it, right? Like if, for example, if I drop the axis on the edge, right? So it's give me like edge. Так, like a little wacky. Okay, so it's give me edge of this. So I can kind of try to draw like ellipse like this. But to be more precise, I just need to make more points, right? So I just can like put some, like in the previous exercises, right? Like how we do in Scott Robertson, you just make some points on a curve and you transfer these points. Same principle, we have this center points here, transfer this center point, drop this, drop this. So you see, it's just, again, if you practice not enough, you will be confused with many lines. It's like, oh, so many lines. Sometimes these lines, they like overlapping each other. Sometimes it's like different points, but they also kind of line on each other, so it's make it more complicated to navigate. So now I have this point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can connect these points. So this is how we kind of project it. So so same, this what is happening here. Maybe I take some pen. Let's try. So I have this point. Right. So make. So thing with this is not just some kind of like art style, you know. No, this is really essential. It's a certain kind of way of process geometry when you draw, and it's really, it's kind of really kind of like a grammar. It's make a huge difference. This how we can um, discern like high level work from beginner work. So and it, like I always say, is doesn't mean like you always should draw everything this way, but you should be able to draw this stuff. Так, so here anyway, some wacky, shaky. So all this. Because you can do this kind of like a faster, just let's say like you know, it's like, and this is what also Scott Robertson kind of mentioned in a book on his workshops. It's like making these exercises, studying it. It's like gymnastic, like a gym for your brain. So you will be more like advanced with the drawing forms and perspective. But then each time you draw particular work, you choose by yourself like how loose you want to be. Because you can like make shortcuts and anything you want. And especially like when we draw like very complex forms like architecture, like props, I don't know, like vehicles and stuff, they may have like this similar kind of overlaps, but just like dozens of them in the one object. Like, you will not calculate all them this way, it will be too much. So you can like make it faster with shortcuts, but principle will be always there. So you will always kind of wrestle with XYZ. Так, so don't know, let's repeat one more time. And you can do it like, again, if like it's XYZ, let's make it like in a 5-point perspective, right? So let's say, okay, so here will be Z. Oop. So this will be Y. and say X here, right? So, but Robertson, he has this kind of I will do like this. It's kind of not necessary, but it'll be kind of similar to original. So, okay, so here we have this like tilted surface, and so let's here will be this circle. Так, middle point. So we have these 5 points. Так, sound here, okay. And same, so what I do, right? Which color to choose? So this y-axis making these points. Now this point here I drop z. Now this point I connect with this point. Okay, so I have this. Also interesting, right? Like if yeah, so if I continue this line, yeah, let's just show for demonstration like what I mean by vanishing trace before. So this, if we continue them, they will have vanishing point on the y-axis here. So this called vanishing trace, right? So we have now vanishing point for tilted surface. And so every time, like if I want to drop line here, it always will go to same vanishing point. And in case if kind of like you don't have this vanishing point on your paper, like if your paper like shorter here, right, it will be like perspective grid, because you see it's like same principle like perspective grid. When you have like one line, they pointing towards a vanishing trace, right, like a vanishing point. So like I teach, you draw perspective grid by subdividing. So you put just a line in the middle, you subdivide, and you get perspective grid. So you can have like very precise perspective without vanishing point. But it's important to understand like why it looks this way and how it works, right? So when you can, yeah, it's better to have vanishing point. Так, so we get this cut here, and now we can again like repeat this, like we drop z here. Here's kind of so close. Okay, like this. and here. So have this 1, 2, 3 points projected on tilted surface. And now these 2 points, I draw kind of x-axis, right? So now this x-axis and z-axis. So I kind of can transfer these 2 points. And yeah, it's kind of only kind of cross, right? It's not clear with the curvature. So let's take like 2 more points, 3 here. Так. And here. So you see, like here, it's kind of might be very confusing because like occasionally it's like accident. By accident, this point transferred by z to tilted surface, it's kind of same point like a corner here. It's just coincidence. So you need to learn to remember, even if this corner is there, it's still actually I have one more point which is like overlapping it. It's a line on my surface here on this line. So these 2 points. And basically that's why we practice, right? We practice exactly because all this like minor tiny issues which like they're accumulate kind of, they're like a mess, and then you totally lost because here something overlaps, there something overlap, and you totally confused like after 10 minutes. So that's why you need to practice, so you learn how to better handle this stuff. Так. So these are points here. So here I connect this 3 points, and I can keep adding more points here, or I just let's do it this way. Oops. So I just make the axis from an edge. Okay, like this. Edge of ellipse. So this edge, now I can shoot. So you see kind of like what was a circle in perspective is that it have like 2 sides, they're more flat like this, right? And other 2 sides, they're like burp, burp, right? So we can be like confused because like our perspective lines go in here, right? So if you will draw a circle like this, it will be wrong. So you should kind of replicate kind of this extra volume, right? So, and the easiest way is if you just kind of put line to show how far this bulk will go. So if I make this line here, I will know, say, okay, so from this point to this point, curve should go little here, so it should touch this line. Okay, so that's why like we can just drop this line here, and now when I will draw curve from this point to this point, I kind of like make them connected like this. So, Same here, make just like a little curved. So just don't make it this way. It's like wrong. So it should be always like at least like a little soften, and then it's like it's go here or it's go here. You should to check. So this how with this line it just help me to see how far it can protrude, right? Protrude. Oops, no, it's just a random word. Just say some smart word to sound professional. Так, so this is what we have. So this is what Scott Robertson was explaining here. So if you kind of like confused or you want to see more demonstration, here you go, this video for you. And as exercise, yeah, try to do the stuff like in different type of perspective, like I show here. Scott Robertson, he show it's isometry, right? It's kind of, yeah, it's kind of like don't have vanishing point, but try to draw this like in a 2-point perspective, in a 1-point perspective, in like here's like 5-point perspective. We can draw it's like another perspective. It's like fish eye with curved horizon line. So it's like horizon line. That's Z. You can draw like 3-point perspective. So because it's a very like basic operation. Further, like when we, you know, when I have video with this, right? Like when you will need to draw this stuff, it's more advanced, but it using same principles. So if you will practice, spend some time, like I think it's totally no problem to draw this 100 times if you approach it like a fun challenge. It's not even like challenge, it's like puzzle. Yeah, consider it a puzzle. Like you know, everybody play some kind of like checkers or mobile games, all the stupid games, like, you know, you'll see like it's like they call them, they can call these games like improving your brain, you know, like you play this game and you will like unlock some brain cells, or I don't know. So it's kind of like you know what I mean, is there is some kind of like application, like exercises to unlock your brain superpowers, stuff like that. This stuff really like unlock your brain, and it will be not just some kind of like uncertain improvement, like you have no idea like actually like what do you learn, and right with this one you will see how much it helped you, but maybe not like in the same day, but in 1 year, in couple months, you will see that exactly because you did all this stuff, you can draw very, very different, like next level works. This is how it always works. It's a huge delay here. Like when you study something important, it's always kind of like serious delay, and in a moment it feels like nothing happened, like you just it feels like you are doing this stuff forever and you don't see any result, right? And you will see result if you will keep doing it. You will see results like after a couple months or couple weeks. And if you don't do anything consistently like this, you will never have such result. So it's only way to improve, really improve, is to bear, kind of to handle this period of kind of lack of visible improvement, kind of lack of like, why I'm doing all this, I don't see any result. That's why that's why kind of teachers exist, right? Because like teachers, like authority, which are telling you, say like, yeah, you cannot know because you not there yet, right? So of course you don't know, it will be beneficial for you, right? But I know because I'm being there, right? And I telling you, if you will keep doing it, you will arrive. Like, so here is a map, you go this road and eventually you will arrive. If you feel you will arrive in 5 minutes, it's your own mistake, kind of, right? You just don't understand, like you cannot walk 10 kilometers in 5 minutes. It's just, it's not how it works. So you choose, like, do you want to arrive there, or you want to be there only if it take 5 minutes to walk, right? It's kind of, this is what it's about. If you want everything be is like in a short reach, then it's another story. So here what I was talking, here we have one line, second line, this line, and we have this line. So, and I can make it like perspective grid. So it's perspective grid for vanishing trace. Так. Like make not confuse with the y-axis. So if y-axis goes this way, vanishing trace go a little different direction. So, and let's draw again. Так, so here will be our circle, ellipse. So it's kind of thing, you know, like if we want to learn some like tradition, some complex discipline, all this traditional kind of arts and disciplines, they're bigger than life. It's not only one life work. It's like, it's many of masters who contribute to develop this system. And you, like, no matter how smart you are, okay, if you're like a genius, like who born as like one in like, you know, in 1,000 years, then just kind of like open your eyes, is not you for sure, right? If you're such genius, you will not watch tutorials on YouTube. And if you watch the tutorials on YouTube, you're not like mega genius. And it means you cannot figure out anything such scale by yourself. Only way for you to connect to this kind of like traditional complex disciplines. It's to follow authorities. So it's like you want to boxing, right? You go to coach and you do what coach tell you to do. You not question him. So like, hey, I have my opinion, kind of like, yeah, you have your opinion, I have my opinion. No, you will never learn this way. He will just like say, okay, you have your opinion, you can go with your opinion somewhere else out of my gym. No, or he will just laugh at you, say, okay, like some weird, Same in art, like it's so funny to see all these like students, they like watch some tutorials, not Jinbon tutorials, watch some wacky tutorials, and then they go to art college and they like kind of argue with teacher. It's so stupid. Like if you think your teacher not like don't know what he do, then change teacher. That's it. Or you can teach him, right? So like you go to administration in your college, in your university, and say like, hey, I can teach. I already know everything, so I will teach here. And you can prove it. Like they say like, no, we don't trust you. Like, who are you? So okay, I will prove everyone I'm a great teacher. And you create your own art studio. You teach artists. They became kind of professional, world famous and stuff. And everybody like, oh my god, he was right. He learned everything in the first months. He was better than everyone. He's a genius, Yeah, maybe this is how this is how all these weird students think of themselves. So anyway, my point, right? Like you should find authority in art and listen. Like be like a sponge, be like a black hole that like absorb like every word he say, everything he say. That's it. No, I mean about drawing. You can question his like political views and stuff, but everything related to drawing, it should be like unquestionable, like absolute obedience kind of for teacher. Kind of recommendations, right? Like, so he said, draw this way, draw that way, draw 100 times, or you go and you draw 100 times. That's it. That's how it works. So you can choose me as such authority, like at least in a moment, for example, because it's just like kind of like as a mechanic, right? Like maybe tomorrow you will change your mind, but in the moment when you listen, you should trust, right? And or you can choose other one. So and I kind of like I'm not kind of I don't make myself like center of a universe. I always say like, okay, there is Scott Robertson, there is Marshall Van Drove, there is how to say, just forget name. This guy, my favorite teacher, internet. It's like Draw America. You have teach there. Second, let me remember. Так. Okay, so have this like in a fisheye, right? So same principle, different perspective. You can draw it upside down. Let's here still have some space. Let's make it upside down. So there later I will make time codes, so you can rewind and skip if it's too much repetition for you. What's this artist? Oops. Так. So this is upside down. You see, kind of can be confusing, but this one, it's z-axis, and this one, it's a vanishing trace. So actually, it will have, yeah, it should have like vanishing point. Maybe here will be vanishing trace. Because this kind of is fisheye, so here everything like here's everything look like a tilted surface, when in reality this tilted surface. Так. So like this. 1, 2, 3. So kind of this like a quick version. So we have this cut. Okay. Also, yeah, also I think we want to mention also what is can be convenient here. So when we transfer these points, так. Right, so what we have here is like, you know, like every circle, they kind of can be within square, right? So have circle inside square. So like here we have this square. So you can kind of also transfer square. All right, so let's say whoop, whoop. So have this 3 points. This 3 points, right? So we have cross. Now I can make it also like a square. So this might be also convenient for drawing ellipse, because now we have like it's not like a circle, it's not like a square for a circle, but it's kind of like distorted square, right? So some kind of like kind of weird distorted square, but still we have like these 4 curves within this square. So it's just like a border for your curves. So you know, okay, my curve cannot like extend outside of this border, right? So this might be like helpful too. So you can like eyeballing with this kind of borders. So in also like with this like kind of right angle, you have better sensation of a surface. So it's kind of like it will feels like you draw curves on a tilted surface. Okay, some kind of this, right? So it's eyeballed, it's not super precise, but it's one way, which also kind of works. This way also works. Okay, so have this like samurai katana cut slice. So slice this. And okay, like last one, just to totally kind of cover this to make sure. Again, we can like do this like 100 times, right? Just one this case you can do 100 times to make sure your brain don't have any more questions about this. It's like with this repetition, you crystallize it. This kind of how it helps you, right? And one other thing, how we still, it's like it's little different but kind of similar. It's again, you make this tilted surface, and let's just like have fun, right? Let's just kind of I don't know, like a random oval. It's like I have no idea what this, just totally random oval, because eventually anyway it will be about projecting points, right? So I can make like this cross sections and transfer these points. You just see how all this like new task, like new variant, give you deeper and deeper understanding, like so this why we're doing it that way, this how it works. This is why I hate kind of public schools, you know, how they teach. They don't teach children at all. They just say like, hey, repeat without understanding. It's a huge difference, like when you really understand or when you just repeat some stuff and you can like pass some stupid test and don't learn anything. Here with doing all this stuff, like keep challenging yourself, keep like check yourself, like, oh, what if I do this, what if I do that, you really eventually it make you like really understand what is this, like why it works. So we have this point like here, this point here, but between this and this point too much space, so maybe I can drop also these 2 points. So I can do it also this way, you see? I hope you can see what I'm doing. So now I have these points here, I transfer it to this tilted surface, and now I drop it here. Scott Robertson don't show this in this chapter, but I just kind of made it up right now because it's the same approach, right? So again, so we have tilted surface here, and we have this point, so I find this point, right? I find this point, and okay, I can find this point this way, or I can find this point this way. Okay, so now I have this 1, 2, 3 points. I can make more points, and again, no, actually he shows this with the ellipse, yeah. So just make sure you understand, so you can make it with a curve. Because if he will like put all these different exercises, his book will be like 1,000 pages and everybody will cry. So Scott Robertson book so long, it's impossible to learn. But here in the video I can show you like just how many variations you can do, right? How many exercises. So look, we have cool like curved surface. So let's choose just again. I just get addicted. It's very addictive. It's even fun, more fun than mobile games. So let's do this way here. Now I just make a curve. So I have like this. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay. Wow, look, so cool shapes we can invent this way. So it's like curvature goes this way. You see what happened here? Так. Так. Low. Whiskey. Так, okay, so anyway, you see, like, I get these points here. Так, but I'm kind of lost. Yeah, this point. No, I lost what I'm doing. Got distracted. Так, so where's my points? So these points go here, go here, go here. This point is here. Так, go here. Lol. LOL. Так. So this one. Yeah, so funny. So I was explaining. With error, so it should be here. This point here. Anyway, so we have this here. Have this here, and it's not ellipse. In this case, it's not ellipse. It's totally random. It's totally random shape. So just for exercise, practice, like transfer points from vertical surface to tilted surface. That's it. Так. Work page 77. It's how to draw stairs. And I what is not clear here is, like, it's very clear. If you can understand this, you just, like, you to rush, you know, slow down. Just read, try again and again, and if after reading you don't understand, watch my video I give you before, a link to my video how to draw stairs in perspective. And if, like, nothing make you understand, I don't know, like, how you ask me to explain something I already explained. I cannot explain more than what I already did. Так.
Madness. This is Jane Bond art.
There is a part here, like, you're talking about using these principles to draw this, like, cut for a wheel in the side of a car, right? So again, like, it should be clear from a book. But in case if something not clear here, actually it's a reason. If it's not clear for you here, it's just because you've been lazy and not really work on a previous like it's like with this one, and also like it's just projecting points, projecting curves. So let's see. So okay. So what we have here, we have 3D curve. So one curve here, then we have second curve on the ground, and then we project in them to make 3D curve. So we have this curve here. Так. And we do second curve. And we make like arc here. And here. Так. So we have this like shape of a car side, right? Так. Let's maybe make it with one color here. Так. Let's make this one. Okay, so here we have it only with blue. Okay, now let's make like, so again, you see, like, make it clear. So this is our y, this is like our x, and this z, right? So you need this xyz to project points. So, and I know this one x, right? So and this one x. So if like I draw some curve, it will be like curve on a flat surface, because goes to x, here go to y. Okay, so just you have a clear kind of idea where you draw this curve. So let's say kind of this. So here I will do this kind of go to x. Okay. So now what happened? It's like we need to project these points on this curved plane. Okay. So these 2 points, they're already connected with this cross section, right? So I can just drop a z-axis, and the point will be here. Drop z-axis, and point will be here. Same here, it's like, because this, it's one plane, it's like one surface. So point already on this surface, because it's touch the edge of surface, right? So I draw the axis and I get point here. I draw the axis and I get point here. So, and I can draw like this curve. Maybe use black. Robertson. Так. So, and here now I have this arc, and how can I project this arc on a curved surface? By projecting points. Right. So let's say, for example, let's take this point. How to project it here? I drop x-axis. See, so x-axis is go intersect this point. Then I drop z-axis, so it intersect this curve. Then I drop x, and I drop z, and now I have this point here. So basically, like, I create one more cross section. So same I can do, like I can use same x-axis I already draw. So I have this point and this point here. Now I drop z-axis, again x-axis, again z-axis. Hop, I have second cross section, and I have this point here. So, and I can connect this point. Same, so I can repeat the same way with these points, but for this like top point, I think will be more convenient if I will create one more vertical section like this. So it's y-axis, z-axis. So here we have this point. So you see this line, it's where I can make a z-axis. So I will have this like a peak, and when like here, right? So we have this point, z-axis, we have this peak, and we have point here. So here is 90 degree, and here we have this curve, right? So here I have already this point, this point, this point. So we have this 90 degree, and because I already have two curves on the left and right, I can kind of like, it's the same principle like a perspective grid. Like you have curve here, curves there, you draw in the middle, in between, right? So you can just like follow curvature, so you can make it like a grid for this curved surface. So once I have example what happened with this surface here, it gives me idea how curvature will go here. So I just follow this curvature. So I have here, already have top here, have this point, same way, right, to have this point, curvature, this point, curvature, this point. So between this and this curve, I kind of just drop similar, like so they align with each other. Like, let's say like this. Curve, and I know, okay, so here should be like kind of follow them, right? So they like align with each other. So then we have this section, and now I can, at this point, I can transfer to other side of this section here. So now it's here. So now we have one more point. So if I want to be like again more precise, I can also transfer these 2 points, and now I can use this new middle section for this. Hop. Now this. So have 1, 2, 3. This. And we have also this stuff. So still, let's make it here. Let's. So you see, whole thing is about, no, not whole thing, but one of a core issue. It's to learn deal with all this mess, with all this forest of lines and overlapping points, overlapping lines. Так. Because this really require some experience. Так. I already have. Right. Yeah, I already have this point here. So, okay. Point here, point here. First. So now this one. So here. Here these points can find this way. There's no 1, 2, 3. Let's make one more point. About here. So also, like when you render like hatching surface and stuff, it's also kind of like knowing geometry tells you how form will go, right? So it's like kind of hatching, go kind of this direction with the direction of each section. Wait. Yes.
Who are you?
Bond. Jim Bond.
So what I drawing? I'm drawing stuff from Scott Robertson book, How to Draw. So help other artists to better understand what he's talking about in the book. So let's do some more examples of this case. Like, so again, you see, so core here is to understand where is y, x, and z, because we transfer points with xyz. Так. So here, let's me draw this block. Так. Let's see. Let's do some crazy. So I don't know, maybe some car can be crazy like this, but yeah, we do exercise, right? So we take same exercise and we start to experiment with this. We start to make like another different kind of variations of same stuff. So let's make curve here. So now I will draw .3D curve for this. Так, so let's go this way. So we have this curve go here. So you see, like I connect this curve with this curve. So we create this like extended side. Then we make arcs from this to this. So we have kind of tilted surface. And then we make arc for here, maybe like I also tilt like this. Okay, so now we have these points. Okay, so this is our surface. And we will draw round shape, kind of transfer from this side to here. So, and it's not a circle, it's just kind of random curve. So let's experiment. So we have going here, maybe like this. So I just improvising. So this curve is on a side, on a flat surface. And now I projecting it using Z. So this point, it's already connect this plane on the ground. So I can immediately transfer this point and this point. This point here we have is connected with this cross section, right? So I can drop Z axis through this point and it will be about here. Okay, so we already have 3 points. So let's see this let's see. Okay, so this line, it's also on a flat surface. Okay, so on the same surface with this curve. So here I have this point. You can see like how it goes. Let's go here, let's go here, then line go here, and if I drop Z axis so it intersect with this point, right, I will get this point from here transfer to here. So now we already have like 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Same I can do with this point. Okay, so I transfer it here. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see, I can take this point, for example. If I will use x-axis, I can put it here on this, no, sorry, x-axis, let's put it here. So I put it here, then I drop with Z, I put here, again X, again Z. So I get this section cut and I have this point transferred from here to here. So now I have like this point here, 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 and this point here, right? So just for yourself, look, is this enough to draw the shape or not? Like I want to have one more point here, here, and here. So I wish to make at least 3 more points. So I will have clearer idea what happened. So let's say, for example, this point, right? How can I project it? So I can do like this, right? So it will go like X, Z, again X, and again Z. Can do this way. Or I can make a vertical cut. This way. So, and I will have this point projected to here. You see, so both way will work, and you kind of choose which one is more convenient than here. So let's see, maybe here. So I can transfer it. So it's important, you know, this one is not a straight line, it's a curve, right? So if you will draw parallel to it, it will not make sense in this situation. You need to draw parallel to X. So make sure you draw it parallel to X. So here it's connected to this, then you draw parallel to Z. So it's now we have point here on this section, and again parallel to X, and again parallel to Z. So we have this point here, and let's draw one more point, again parallel to X, parallel to Z, so somewhere here. So we maybe make one more point here. We have now so many points. Let's make this form. So you see here is more complex situation because here surface going down. Right. So it's kind of here, direction is going down. Here, after this line, direction is going up. So it's like distorted curvature. A lot. And here we can draw this inner area. Uh, Так, now let's do it like in a fisheye perspective. But I need to sharpen pencil.
Madness. This is Jane Bond art.
Так, let's see. Fisheye perspective. So let's make like tilted. So here we have a Z vanishing point as our horizon line, and there It's like y-axis and x-axis. And the z-axis to the vanishing point. Так. So, like this. Так. So here's our like outside curve. Here is our top curve and middle curve. So we take middle curve to draw this like farther edge. So making 3D curve. So, but here our farther edge. So let's extend. Okay, and here. Okay, so we have this point, this point, this point, this kind of section, and we draw a curve inside the section. And then from this point to this point, we draw a curve like this. Same here, we have this section, we have 3 points, and make a curve. It's crazy. Same here, 3. So it's just example like how you can keep experiment and exploring this exercise. Just draw it in a different perspective. Так, so on here, this point, whoop. Так. This point. Whoop. Here. Okay, so we have this crazy wing from a car in a fisheye perspective. Yeah, hello, Carlos. Yeah. It's like marathon, no speed run here. Так. So let's so here we have this farther surface. Okay, and on the surface I will draw, let's say, so I will just draw it like little more complicated for a challenge, right? So let's draw this curve. This curve. So this is not circle, not ellipse. It's some kind of fancy curve. If we look from side, something like this. Okay. Так, now let's transfer it. So this point already contact with this surface. So I just drop Z. Ta-da. This point also touch surface. Drop Z. Ta-da, here. Done. One more point. We can use Z. Okay, it's here. This here we have same line on the same surface. So it's a curve, but it's a line on a vertical surface. On the same surface with this curve. So I mean, if we have like this plane, then we have this curve, it's a line on the surface, and then I draw this curve. So they will have intersection points. So I already have this sorry, not here, here. Because this curve line here. So this intersection point and this intersection point. So I can drop Z. Так. Yeah, if I drop Z here. So because you see this flat line projected here. So if I drop Z from this flat, I will have projected point here. Wow, so crazy. Same here on a flat. I will get projected about here. Crazy so far. Так, yeah, seems okay. Так, so let's take this point here. So I drop, so it's X, Z. Так. Z. This one is okay. So let's go this way. See. So this case is complicated because I think a more proper way, more reliable will be to make vertical section for this point. Так. So will be so this point will be here. So I make kind of a vertical section, transfer this point to here. So let's review. We already have this point, this point, this point, this point, and this point. So we already have 5 points. Let's also do this one. Так. Or better this way. So I drop. I will make this like vertical cross section. And somewhere here, let's take this way. Okay. So let's draw this shading for this cut. So I kind of hatching here with the z-axis direction. Check. So hatching is kind of very detailed perspective grid. Okay, so this kind of arcade here. Так. Let's proceed. Like 2 hours, crazy. So here, yeah, he talking about this stuff, which I think is kind of very clear here. I mean, like what is not clear is pretty clear. No, after this stuff, it's very easy. If it's not clear for you, then I cannot help you. So just like slow down, really read, you know, because I think sometimes people they actually don't read what they only look in pictures and rush, like, oh, I just want to draw this very fast, you know. Don't rush. So here, this one, right? So what he doing, this one I will explain just to make sure. So here, just make sure you're not confused. What he show that this square, right, on which he have circle. So he have square, he find center, and he draw this kind of like perspective grid, right? So this is going to z-axis. Then this here is our x-axis. So it's like perspective grid, all this stuff. And then, so we draw, so like we have kind of ellipse here. So, and then he say here, look, we kind of built now 45-degree perspective grid. So we're using this diagonal line from square. We know this line is like, it's like 45-degree, right? So we can establish perspective grid. You can show, say, okay, this will be like z45, let's say, z-axis with a 45-degree. So now you can establish like perspective grid, and you can draw more lines between here. So this, what is happening here? See these two lines, right? So first he have this diagonal line, and then it's like we say, okay, so it's parallel lines, and this, they have kind of same vanishing point somewhere very far outside. So this is what happened here. So here he using this new perspective grid, this 45 z45 axis, to build this surface, build this rectangle. So it's not inside. Okay, so because you might think like this line is inside this circle. No, it's not inside, it's just a line parallel to center line of a circle, but it's outside. So this rectangle is outside, and this line is a contact point with the cylinder, right? So it's like contact with a cylinder surface. So let's see again. So I just like, in case, you know, because again it's maybe confusing, but it will be confusing if you rush. I should make video like call not rush, but it will be very short video. I will just like 10 seconds, I will say like, stop rushing. You want to understand, slow down, make sure you really get what he say here. Try, if something wrong, read again, try again. If again something wrong, think what you don't understand. Try to read again what you don't understand in his words, because it's all here. I don't know, maybe people like forget how to read, or I don't know. Так. like really like right now TikTok destroy brains. Like everybody who used TikTok like delete it. I never used TikTok really. Так, of course, now you cannot hide from reels there in YouTube and Instagram. But yeah, they find me there. But TikTok, it's not just like a stupid app. It's a media weapon. That's 100%, no exaggeration. Because you can see like TikTok in the different countries will be different. Because China, they always like very strict with censorship. And like all this trash you see in TikTok outside of China, it's because they force it. So they force trash outside, like all this like degeneracy, destructive degeneracy. And in China, everything they force is a propaganda to kind of like brainwash Chinese people, like about greatness and about how everything perfect in China, you know, and yeah, and also show like stupid foreigners, like look like outside China everybody crazy, inside China everything perfect. So if you want to kind of be brainwashed, okay, use TikTok. It's like being like it's basically like working for free, being like communist influencer for free. Kind of weird decision. So you see what I was explaining. We have this diagonal, we have this diagonal. It's already two lines from which we can build perspective grid. So now once we have this grid here, I can extend it. Right, so this is our 45 degree. So, and he been using this grid to draw, like just say like, oh, I want to connect my new plan here. So I put point, so this point is on a surface, right? And I draw vertical line and I say will be about here, this high. And now I use this 45 perspective grid, and I guess is this high, or this long, this high. So this is my plan. And then he say like, okay, it's contact with the surface here. Curvature of surface goes this way, right? So you can just like repeat this curvature going around like this. Same here. And you see like perspective is change, so it's kind of like level of ellipses change, degree of ellipse change. So down here is more open, up here is more narrow ellipse, more squeeze kind of. So you can just again, it's like with the cubes and perspective, right? If you can just, more you draw this, more you make it kind of precise, just like a drawing transition of ellipses from bigger to smaller degree. I don't know, let's say for a clear example like this narrow. So it's also like perspective grid but with ellipses. It's like we have round line. So and here I draw like this. So, and so we have like this, like a cylinder. So you can say, okay, maybe it's like vanishing point here. You see kind of what I'm talking about. So you can just like eyeball it, and it's like question of practice and experience. More you draw the stuff, more kind of precise you will be. This is not super wrong, but you can kind of imitate, make it close enough. So here you can choose. You can like let's say, yeah, if I put line here, I don't want to bother kind of think about how to make proper ellipse here, so I will just eyeball ellipse, which I think will be like a right degree for here, because like for my kind of freehand approach for most of the cases, this will be precise enough, right? So what we need is just we need to have this so this is what he showed here, right? Here have this curvature, it's this ellipse. This curvature here, it's this ellipse. Now here is like little more open degree, okay? And here he show, right, it's another ellipse. If this ellipse here have like a center here, right, it's center inside object. This ellipse he's showing here, it's about transferring this point on a surface of this object, and this ellipse have center axis as edge of this plane, because he rotating plane here. So if it's like this plane, if I have it here and I want to rotate it, right, here will be my center, and rotation, for rotation I need to have ellipse. So now this point I can move like here, 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 like any degree. Kind of like, oh, here's like 90 degree, let's say here will be like 180 degree, and 270, and any kind of degree I want, I can like rotate this point. So we need ellipse is just for rotation of this surface. So if I choose like rotate it here, so bam, 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 okay, so I rotated this surface. Here he show that, again, you see, it's like understand principles, like it's transferring point. So I have point of this surface here, and then he using this ellipse for rotation. And when this ellipse of a surface intersect with ellipse of rotation, we will have this point on the surface. Same on the bottom, right? Like ellipse of object and ellipse of rotation kind of intersects, and we will have point on the surface, and then we just drop vertical. So this is how we end up with this thing. So it's just like to make it clear, right? If from this text and picture is not very clear, so we have like two type of ellipses here. One ellipse is serve to rotate this point and other ellipse is ellipse of this form. So, and this kind of thing actually like about rotation with ellipses in a Scott Robertson book, it's kind of also like hit me before, you know, when I was reading a long time ago, first time this book, I was like, kind of like, oh my god, like I will never able to be like, it's so difficult, you know, because imagine like you every time you want to draw something like this, you need to make this kind of ellipses. Oh no, it's like just to make this simple stuff, you need to make like 1 week warm up with ellipses. I mean, it just kind of seems too complex, kind of like really. And then, you know, point here again is first of all, it's explaining you mechanic. It's explaining you principles, like how we end up with this result, why it's behave this way. So it's behave because it's underlying structure of this ellipses. So you must know it. And then as a freehand artist who draw freehand without any rulers or some stuff, you can just find this approach like little too, I don't know, kind of little overkill, right? So you can skip this kind of part when you need to build this ellipses. You just can say like, okay, let's say you draw this cylinder, right? And then you have some surface, let's say like this, right? And then you say like, yeah, I will just kind of eyeball how it can go. So it's kind of will go like this, let's say. Okay. That's it, you know, and anyway, this is how like 99% of artists, how they draw such stuff. So don't really kill yourself with this page, okay? So all you need here is just like, from my perspective, right? So if like it's because my review of this book, so my opinion, all you need here is just understand why we have this result, and you can draw it a couple times and say like, okay, I get it, that's it, don't need more of this, you don't need to kind of master this. This thing is not very important. Only, okay, you can make it like draw like 100 times, whatever, if you really like it, you know, if you enjoy draw ellipses, yeah, it will be nice, good for you, so have fun. But if it's really like for me, it was like no way, it's like knock down kind of me. So don't bother. So just do it and forget. And if next time, if you will need, if you will confuse again after a couple months or something like, wait a second, I have this stuff and it's Scott Robertson book, right? So you go back, you open this page, and you can like refresh how to draw this stuff, because you don't really need this often. It's like very rare stuff. And they like say like, so wrapping graphics. Also, Marshall Vandroff in his lectures, he have about this. My point is just like you very rarely will need this. And when you will do this, usually like what I suggest, like let's say you have like cylindrical surface and you want to write something on it, right? More convenient is just imagine it like perspective grid, right? So you just kind of making lines on this surface. So, and you can say, okay, here will be whatever you want. So my kind of approach with perspective grids is much more convenient. So because like, okay, you want to draw like graphics on a curved surface, let's say this curved surface, just break it down into squares, right? So you draw like perspective grid. Now you have like, let's say you have this kind of right angles here, right? So you can make kind of 2D projection of the squares, and you say like, I don't know, you have this kind of stuff, right? So like we do with Scott Robertson projection of points, right? You're making this, so you imagine like how this curve wrap to other side, and like go whoop, whoop. Because it's much more fun to draw freehand this way without like kind of, oh. So we have this point here, we have this point here, we have this point, we have this point about here, this point somewhere there, right? So when you, this way you transfer, so you just make a grid on a tilted surface. And if you're not familiar with grids, just watch my tutorials like about perspective for beginners and stuff like this. So don't kill yourself with this, just go next. So in here, let's finish it here. Because before I was watching, like, oh my god, ellipses, so difficult. Hello, John. Okay. Because again, like what with freehand approach, it's not only about which techniques we can use, it's about also like which technique is more practical. For this like tilted surface stuff, more practical, it's just make perspective grid, because it's insane. You can do whatever you want. Let's say you have like, you can make this thing, right? Oop. I don't know. Let's say like this, right? And I want to just whatever random. So it's kind of eyeballing. So some dude with a ruler, he will cry watching this. Right? It's like, oh wow, it's all not precise. But for us, that's what we need. Kind of, okay, so we have this point, this point, this point, this point, this point. So you just need some hints. You don't need like full geometry, like for every millimeter kind of, right? It will be like too much. So some hints, and you say, okay, here, like if you want to be more precise, okay, let's do diagonal, right? So we look diagonal, it's almost like a third here. So, okay, about here. So now we have, okay, curve goes this way. This way also I can make diagonal. Okay, it's like, almost like force. So if I have diagonal, it's about here. So now I have, you see, this point here. So same here. Let's make diagonal. Yes, definitely force here. So, whoa, diagonal. Whoa, cool, right? And I say, okay, so it's kind of going like this. So point here, it's like, whoa. From here to here, it's just, whoa. Now we have last one, this one. Again, you can make diagonal, or you can make it this way, right? So, oh, so we have third. So, 1/3 here. So you can you can use diagonals, or you can divide on half, on quarters, or you can divide on thirds. So look, right? So you can divide on thirds to find like more precise points, or you can divide on quarters. And this is like more than enough. This all you need. It's just this very basic diagonals, halves, and quarters and thirds. And you just see how simple to draw square, and it will work even if the square is not actually perfect, because here nothing perfect here, but it still will be works. So here I have like one small square. So if like I divide on thirds, here will be this point, here, point about here. So now again I can connect. Okay. So this is just more convenient without. So that's my comment here on this page. Так. Let's see. Should I talk this page today? Oh, let's do this for next time. It will be part 2. I will talk about detailing, sculpting surfaces part. Okay, now your homework to practice with this, right? Do this, do this, do this. It should be clear. I mean, and this one, yeah, you can try it, but I think like this, for practical application, it's not very convenient. More convenient just break down into squares and project points on the squares. Так. So, hope it was useful. See you next time.
Madness. This is
Jane